First of all, I'd like to point out that I do what I'm doing right now a lot. I've watched every video I've ever made over again, and I reflect on my mind state and my performance and how well I did and so on and so forth. I'm going to go over the intro speech that I didn't finish for the debate because of the time limit. And then I'm going to go over, what I've shown you in the video. It's called Over 65 Million Preventable Deaths Worldwide Annually, Horace Steve Bench. I spoke quickly because I was very angry about it. I knew I had a time limit. I knew there was other things that I wanted to cover and other clips I wanted to put, and it still came out 16 minutes and 56 seconds. I know that a lot of people don't have that long of an attention span, and I know that I've released a lot of videos, so I'm inclined to want to talk quickly as a result. So in the next first I'm going to hit you with a speech, okay, about gang stalking. I'll prove gang stalking, and keep in mind that they're harassing me, they're covertly drugging me, etc. And that led to, me feeling extra upset about the second document I'll read you, or my notes, really, not document, but my notes, from valid sources such as the CDC, Life Science, and pretty valid sources such as the Washington Post, etc. when it comes to these statistics for the most part. So this was my intro speech from the debate that I didn't finish. In the next 5 minutes, I will show you, using a 2009 DOJ report, that gang stalking does exist. When you couple that with COINTELPRO and ABC News' documentary about MKUltra in 1979, it becomes apparent that gang stalking still exists. A former intelligence agent, Victor Marchetti, says MKUltra never stopped in 1977, and that the idea that it stopped was just a cover story. There were 51 universities and schools and 5 prisons involved in MKUltra, as well as the military, several intelligence agencies, and more than over 200 subprojects. Over 200 subprojects for MKUltra, and the idea that it stopped is ridiculous. Keep in mind the military did their own experiments as well. They had different sectors doing their own experiments. Some were done by the CIA, some were done by Navy intelligence and Army intelligence, what have you. So does the military stop making weapons? Is it not still concerned with propaganda and the sentiments of people here and abroad? Dr. Uman Kamen was the main psychiatrist in MKUltra, and he was a Scottish-born psychiatrist who served as president of the Canadian Psychiatric Association, American Psychiatric Association, and World Psychiatric Associations, also the American Psychopathological Association, and the Society of Biological Psychiatry during the 1950s. Keep in mind, this proves my point about their claim that there's that mental disorders are a result of biological dysfunction and not environmental factors. So he's like putting that stress on the biological aspect and putting extras on it, to put it lightly. The idea that this is caused by biological dysfunction instead of the countless environmental factors, which I'll get to in a moment. As if 65 million people dying from preventable deaths, in preventable ways, is not enough to make people start being upset, start behaving quote-unquote abnormally, if such a thing even exists. So I will go into detail showing you that, on record, police officers have been accused of stalking and group stalking. Electronic monitoring is used, bugging, emails, smear campaign, rape, property damage, and more. All these things that TIs say gang stalkers have been doing. Studies done by FFCHS have shown that many gang stalking victims have college degrees, such as myself, therefore are logical minds. Schizophrenia, according to the experts, rarely has late onset and certainly almost never expresses itself in a way that thousands of people believe almost exactly the same thing in detail, and it happens to be something that the government happens to have been caught doing within the lifetime of many people who are living right now. Then consider the head of the Army Psychological Unit came up with Mind War in 1980, a self-confessed Satanist, Major Michael Aquino, from Psyop to Mind War, the Psychology of Victory. So that is where it ended in the intro speech. Okay, I believe I went a little bit over 2 minutes in the debate. Now here's the part I left out, which is pretty juicy. And, you know, it also makes me sound a lot more elegant. You know, it's a lot more eloquent of a, you know, introduction when you add this part. Consider this with the war on terror, which is fought foreign and domestically. It becomes obvious, you know, it's fought on foreign grounds and domestically. It becomes obvious that I'm right. The victims either are obviously political dissidents, social deviants, or the type of people who one can candidly target. They embody the ideal victim, and the evidence is tantamount to proof positive when you add it all together. The prologue of gang stalking was MK Ultra and COINTELPRO, which the FBI under Hoover was involved in. They wish a detente or an easing of hostilities against oppressive regimes by doing a rigorous psyop. Do not be callous or blithe and try to formulate some priceless excuse as to why this cannot be. It is obvious that contemporary society is full of the evolution of this polymorphous gang stalking, which is damn near incommensurable when one needs to be cognizant of this ignominious process. The people in charge of social control have a myriad of techniques to use against us to keep us in line, and this super exploitation is flagrant. The evidence is consonant with my careful conclusion based on a meticulous analysis of the situation. You know, I know I kind of slipped up a little bit, but wasn't that a beautiful ending to my intro? That would have hit hard, right? But I won anyway, so, because of the DOJ report. So, when I make videos, first I have to do the research, okay? I get, in this case, 3 pages worth of notes for that one video. You know, it's usually in the morning when I wake up, because that is, you know, or I have to wait till 7:30 when the sun comes up so I can actually use the video without my features becoming distorted, which also frustrates. So, but I wake up in the morning grumpy, kind of hungover from the covert drugging the day before. Usually having a bad dream from all the bitch shit that they're doing. And then I prep myself to make the video, you know, comb my beard, put on a shirt, whatever I do, you know. I make the video very angry. Then I have to go out, and while making the video, I know that there's all this other stuff I have to do. It's in the back of my head. I have to make sure there's room on my phone. Speaking of that, when I copy over stuff, sometimes, whether it's a bug or whether it's cyber attacks or hacking, they're playing this kind of musical folders. There's like 30 folders, okay? And they switch around my latest videos. You know, sometimes it's in the last folder, sometimes it's in the first, sometimes it's somewhere in the middle. You know, so I have to search all these folders, find the right folder, find the right videos, copy them over, delete it, you know, make sure I've uploaded them first. Because, you know, so actually I go out, come back, do that. I go out, I upload it on the side of the road. Now, it says sharing was interrupted or YouTube was not available. Then I have to deal with that, the cyber attacks. And sometimes it takes me hours to do that. Then I upload the videos. Then I come back, and if I make an edited video, it doesn't give me the option to put it on private. So when I put it together, I don't want to annoy my viewers by having them watch the same videos twice. So when I put it together, you know, what happens is, you know, I'm just going to make a part 2 for this video because it's going to be too long. Let me just finish explaining this. I'll make one last clip. That'll be the part 2. So when I get back and I put it together, you know, I have to get back as quick as I can, put the edited video on private because a lot of you ignore the don't view title. Then I have to put the, you know, I have to go to YouTube editor, put it all together, okay, add the tags, add the title, add the description, add annotations, look for any slips I might have made, correct them in the annotations, descriptions, or comments, you know, and then release it. And a lot of times it doesn't let me comment until I take it off private. You know, see all these little hoops and all this bitch shit I have to do just to release one video. Imagine thousands of videos just like that. At first, yes, I was uploading from my computer, but then they cyber attacked me. And my computer had serious issues as a result of them cyber attacking me. And it was very obvious that it was happening as a result of uploading it. They're using Facebook as a beachhead to attack me, using social media sites as a beachhead to cyber attack me. So I wasn't surprised in the slightest, not in the fucking slightest, when they were, you know, using these social media sites and to do psych ops on me. You could tell that I'm a very handsome, smart, intelligent guy. I have very handsome pictures of myself. I put them on Tinder. I was on Tinder I was on Tinder for over a year. I matched countless bots, but I matched around 40, 45 women in that time. Pretty much all of them perps. I didn't meet a single one. Okay? I would love to hear their explanation for that. And you can say, well, it's this, that, and the other thing. You know how many females see me on YouTube and respect me and would love to go on a fucking date with me? You know? You know how many of their perps would love to go on a date with me, but they're told specifically not to because they're gang-stalking scum? Okay? No matter how you slice it, women's bad judgment and conformity kept them from dating me. Their psych op contributed to these things. So all this bitch shit I go through without, you know, any semblance of a normal life. You know, there's no, you know, I live with my parents. I'm in my mid-30s. I have no female, you know, making me feel better with saying little female things and doing little female things and her female energy. You know, everything they're doing is designed to agitate me. And because of all the extra stuff I have to do things that people could probably do in no time, you know, I'm agitated more. I'm agitated about what I talk about, which I thoroughly explore far more than pretty much anybody else on the fucking planet. And it's the type of thing that by itself makes you want to scream about killing people. So when you consider everything, you know, is my behavior normal when you consider all the environmental factors? Absolutely. Only a moron, only a complete idiot who should be shot would say otherwise. Thank you. Oh, one thing I forgot from part one is that, you know, the food, they're covertly drugging me. You know, they're drugging the food in the house. I have to go out. I have to drive like 20 miles every day to get some fucking fast food. Hungry and bitter. I wake up hungry, bitter, drugged. You know, or you know, hungover from being drugged. So yes, you have to consider environmental factors, especially drugs, or you're a fucking moron. Okay, anyway, going over what I have gone over before. Let me just read through all this. It is a lot. The 5 leading causes of death in the United States are heart disease, cancer, chronic lower respiratory diseases, stroke, and unintentional injuries. Together, they accounted for 63% of all U.S. deaths in 2010, with rates for each cause varying greatly from state to state. The report in this week's issue of CDC's weekly journal, Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report, analyzed premature deaths before age 80 from each cause of each state from 2008 to 2010. The authors then calculated the number of deaths from each cause that would have been prevented if all states had the same death rate as the states with the lowest rates. The study suggests that if all states had the lowest death rate observed for each cause, it would be possible to prevent 34% of premature deaths from heart disease, prolonging about 92,000 lives, 21% of premature cancer deaths, prolonging about 84,500 lives. Now, right now, I'm tempted to talk quickly because there's a lot of this stuff to go through, but I'm making a conscious effort to talk slowly. It's important to know. It has nothing to do with some kind of mental illness, everything to do with the abundance of stuff and the timer, you know, the time. 39% of premature deaths from chronic lower respiratory diseases, prolonging about 29,000 lives. 33% of premature stroke deaths, prolonging about 17,000 lives. 39% of premature deaths from unintentional injuries, prolonging about 37,000 lives. CDC, that's the source. The 5 leading causes of death in the United States, oh, wow, I guess I copied that twice. Oh, that's good news. So now I don't have to go to that. Okay, so tobacco use causes nearly 6 million deaths per year, and current trends show that. It's another CDC. 5 things kill more people in the United States than anything else. All right. Anyway, going on. I guess I copied another small clip of that from that over again. I guess put things in perspective. Together, these stood nearly 900,000 each year. 200,000 people die needlessly every year, according to the CDC. But when I do the math, it's just, when you consider all the things that I consider, and you go the extra mile, there's a lot more than that. 1.5 million people die of AIDS. You know, they're talking about in the U.S. alone. 1.5 million people die of AIDS-related illnesses worldwide in 2013. Okay. According to the World Health Organization, road traffic injuries caused an estimated 1.24 million deaths worldwide in the year 2010. A total of 699,202 abortions were reported to CDC for 2012. in the U.S. alone. 1.72 billion abortions worldwide in the last 40 years. 59 million abortions in the U.S. since 1973 Roe versus Wade. 3.3 million deaths from alcohol a year worldwide, World Health Organization. 180,000 deaths from sugary drinks annually, Washington Post. 25,000 of them in the United States. Illegal drugs kill 250,000 people a year. Psych meds kill 500,000 people annually in Western countries alone, RT. Air pollution. 3 million people a year die worldwide from air pollution, Life Science. This is from everything from coal pollution to, car pollution, etc. You look at China, and so on. How many young children die each year and why? In 2012, 6.6 million children died before reaching their 5th birthday. Almost all, 99%, of these deaths occurred in low and middle income countries. The major killers of children aged less than 5 years were prematurity, pneumonia, birth asphyxia, and birth trauma, and diarrheal diseases. Malaria was still a major killer in sub-Saharan Africa, causing about 15% of under 5 deaths in the region. Ischemic heart disease, stroke, lower respiratory tract infections, etc. Are major killers as well. So, though stroke is not a major killer in children, it's a major killer in people. I think I made that slight mistake on that one video, which is understandable. So anyway, so in other words, 64,889,500 people die a year from preventable deaths, from just what I calculated. So the number might even be as high as 100 million, when you consider all the preventable tests. I just went after some of the more obvious ones. 177,780 people a day, 7,407 an hour, 124 a minute, 2 people every second, just from the ones that I've accounted for, based on the most reliable statistics, in the eyes of scholars, peer-reviewed journals, so on, what they would say. All right, so the children, I came up with the number 6 million because 99% of them die in low-income or middle-income countries, showing you that it's disproportionate. It screams that the problem, is a result of the disparity, the wage gap, wealth, economic disparity. So, therefore, out of 6.6, a good fair estimate is about 6 million of them were preventable deaths if they had the proper nutrition, the proper living conditions, and what have you, proper medical care. AIDS, 1.5 million. Alcohol, 3.3 million. Cigarettes, 6 million. Abortion, 43 million. Car accidents, 900,000. These are all annually. Illegal drugs, 250,000. Sugary drinks, 180,000. Psychiatric meds, 500,000. Air pollution, 3 million. So the big killer here is abortion. Abortion, in just my study, abortion is about 2/3. 43 million of about 65 million. Okay, so more than 2/3. No, excuse me, no, about 2/3. Yeah, about 2/3. 43 million of 65 million. Yeah, almost exactly 2/3. So you will have those people who say, well, abortion doesn't really count. And I think that is very, very tragic. Very tragic. That's very interesting, Let's say you make the argument that if a human being isn't conscious in the truest sense of the word, then their lives don't matter, So then people in a coma or people on life support who aren't truly conscious, they're not really lives, So if there's a way to save them and we don't save them, we shouldn't count them. I mean, where do you draw the line, really? I think that if you take the truest meaning of the term, all human life is precious. You know, the phrase of the saying, all life is precious, all human life is precious. You know, then you need to start it with the fetus developing. You know, as soon as you have the process of life beginning, you know, as soon as you have the process of human life forming, should we, and these people, they're very silly because there's late term abortions. Should we wait till the moment they are born? Now they're alive? So 20 seconds before they were born, for example, 3 seconds before they came out, the woman, they weren't alive. But 3 seconds later they are? I mean, these people's logic is so inferior, it's pathetic, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And this doesn't cover, you know, the deaths of women who strangle their children. A lot of babies are strangled because they're the wrong gender. You know, a lot of their stomach are beaten. You know, there's a lot of illegal abortions and very savage abortions. You know, I mean, it is very sad the way people think. It's sick. It's sickening. Okay, let's just look at it from their way for a second. Okay, let's say the number. You know, let's take out the abortions. Let's take out the abortions. 65 million minus 43 million. 22 million preventable deaths a year. Okay? So now, because the number isn't quite as shocking, but it's still completely unacceptable, and, you know, perhaps it doesn't matter. Perhaps everything I just said doesn't fucking matter, because according to a bunch of feminists, the number is actually 22 million plus instead of 63 million plus, based on just what I included in my calculations, which isn't everything. Perhaps there is no way to include everything. Certainly there is no precise scientific way to include everything. But we are talking about tens of millions of people regardless. Leave it there.